Hello, family. Welcome to Clean Minds podcast, where we cover and separate the right from the wrongs, the truth from the false. Because what? Even the strongest man on earth still fears to tread upon his side zone. I'm your host, Mr. Safi, and today's episode, I want to touch on a very simple phrase, as I already indicated in this video, that in the Kenyan political realm, I'm sure time is coming that no stone will remain untouched. Why am I saying so? Let's just go back and make a clear recall of the last maybe 10-15 years. There were years that politics was viewed as not much necessary. Nothing can change politics. From the era where Moi and his regime seemed to be powerful. And President Moi did what he did. He made the milestone that Kenya has to have. And Kibaki took over. Kibaki built what he built. He ensured a lot, and he also was part and parcel to initiate the change of our constitution. And Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta took over, the president who I think is the most luckiest president to have been a president in Kenya, not today but even in the future. Did what he did, and today we have Daktari, who is also the president. In that simply thing, if you can just rush, that you will realize change has been constant. That we are changing presidents, but it's like the same flowers of people are still cocooning, creating coups within the same arena. And my fundamental thing I'm just talking about is, what if all these changes we have been making, they were just to be seen that we are making changes, but the real system do not change? What if? And that's why I'm bringing this question, that a time is coming when no stone will remain untouched. Why am I saying so? I want to give you a very simple analogy. We have something like the Kenyan Constitution 2010, a very decorated document, a very supreme law of which most of us believe in it. But the same characteristics of corruption that were, in fact, in the previous constitution, in fact, they have now increased in the new constitution. Was the change there, or it was just a word of change? But what holds still constant? I'm asking myself, if I go back to time, you can see pictures of someone like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Raila Amolo Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Mudavadi, William Samoei Ruto in one picture. Back maybe during the Moist era, they are the same still people running the same country. And now that is my question. Can truly change come if the same drivers are driving different vehicles? Yeah? You are the same driver, you are given a Ferrari, you are the same driver, you are given a Lamborghini. My friend, it's unless the tactics of driver changes, for the vehicle to change the speed. And it is from that perspective I'm asking myself. Someone is standing in front of a crowd. He's condemning young people. They are not disciplined. But if we go back to time, it was the same person who conducted anything provided it suits his narrative. You are the same person who was abusing a fellow politician. Huyu mzee wa kitendawili, huyu mzee muganga, huyu mzee. And that is the question I'm asking myself. What's the problem with us, man? A leader is coming during campaign, talking in principles A, B, and C. And whenever he's being given the opportunity, he goes to Z, Y, and X. And you're critically waiting, saying that people will keep quiet. No. No. And the change that is now required is not the change of who drives the vehicle. But we need a critical change of the driver within the same machine. Take them out, down. I don't know who has the muscle. But I have a dream that one day, sanity and hope and leaders who are willing to serve will be given opportunity to this world, especially in my country. I'm asking myself, someone like my uncle, let me call him, he's my uncle, Amason Jeffa King. If you are being given opportunity, you are taking a loan. But if you are being touched there, you want the mass to protect you. But the benefits are alone. When it's time to eat, you eat alone. But when you are touched, is our problem as a whole. What is that? What happens to the values of leaders if someone can just stand in front of a crowd and tell people, Kumama, for sure, I'm sorry, but how can someone, Haramali, what's wrong with you, man? Someone like Kimani Chungu. How can you be the leader of majority and fail? A very simple task. And that's the question, man. How can be a leader lecturing people to be disciplined? And you have your own son's company running in the streets like hell. They cover this video in this podcast. Those matatus, the people who are being held responsible are the drivers and conductors. But if you look where they draw that statement, it's because of the owner of those matatus. That person is somewhere seated, waiting for his money. You are carrying that stupidity of that nonsense into the roads. Huh? Good thing God maybe helped. There was no accidents. But how can you lecture discipline if yourself you don't have one? And what capacity do you have to say you are not disciplined? Which measure are you using? Because if you use the same measure to yourself, it does not fit. Let me not lie. A time is coming when all stones will be touched. All those issues, all those elements in the Constitution will be touched. And those buildings that we are building, the so-called politicians, without a fundamental recognition of where you get those monies, I'm not lying. Those monies will be required. And the Republic of Kenya will be saying, we want to understand why you had this one. Because it's a simple question we're asking. What if we all turn these stones and we understand why these stones are lying the way they are lying. We can't have cocoons from 90s to today. They want to be the president, they want to be the directors, they want to be the ministers. How can change remain if the drivers are the same? You are just a manual driver, you are still the same. Guys, I think it's high time. We need to make these changes. Sincerely, we need to make these changes. Having a person at this generation supporting abduction. Let me not lie you. If you have a policy, and that policy you fear it being scrutinized, then that policy is weak. At any given moment, the right policies are the ones that went to different stakeholders. They gave their own inputs on those things. Critically, it was positively critiqued. That policy, when put forth, it becomes a pillar for the existence of the economy or society. But if you are fearing that a condemnation of any of your policy is a backward politics, is a wrong narrative, the question you need to ask yourself as the leader is, what if I do something that will get to them understand how this policy is good? Instead of you going in public and just abusing any person, throwing words, right, all angles. Why don't you take the same initiative and tell them, I will show you how this policy is good and how it works, instead of abusing people? We give you opportunity to rule us. We didn't give you opportunity to abuse us. Stop this nonsense and be straightforward in your policies and make things to be right. And that's why I'm saying, and I'll repeat it, a time is coming. I have a dream that still people from the western of Kenya will be believing in people who are in the coast east of the same nation. Business people from the north, Turkana and Wajir, will be supplying their products all through to the central and to the south of the same nation. It is in this dream that different societies, men and women of right intellect, leaders who were born to serve, that one day they will be ruling this nation. And I'm telling you, a positive change will be seen, and a foundation that had been scrapped will be cemented. And the future, it will be just a time when, but everyone will be understanding that it is coming. Guys, it's time we change every stone. We turn every stone. We ask our citizenry fundamental questions. If I defend the so-called kingi, what does that increase me? Amason Jeffa Kingi. You are calling the word king is not the king, the king. That is just a reflection, but you're not the king. Because if you serve the people rightly, you don't deserve them to come and help you. They'll just speak their minds. And if it is correctly, the people who are defending you are right. Why are they defending you from one point? If it is a fundamental thing to defend you, the whole region must be defending you. But it's small cocoon who you have just paid there, here and there. My friend, you are doing it wrong. Yes. And in this podcast, my friend, here we have to serve you. In fact, whenever it is hot. So that is all. But what I hope, and my dream that I have, is one day these nations will uphold leaders, and the leaders who have the urge to lead, to serve their nation, not to serve their pockets and their stomachs. Guys, let me get your comments in the comment section. If you think it's high time now, we discuss the fundamental fabric of our societies and bring clear answers and a clear direction to which we want our society to be. Thank you guys. Meet you in the next episode.